Usually, before I go shaking my tits for the press, I like to go see how the professionals do it. Some might say the chief of police has no business in an institution like this, but in fact it's the quietest and safest place in town. You won't run into any reporters, nobody gets into any fights, nobody drinks too much, nobody even raises their voice. The place is owned by an elderly gentleman who knows how to keep things under control. That's why I never invite my friends here. I wanted to make an exception for my 60th birthday, but most of my colleagues are young enough to be my sons, and they'd rather just hire prostitutes. Why stare at some boobs when you can take the whole package for yourself? But there's none of that in our club. Even looking too long is considered indecent. You can get an occasional glimpse, like by accident. The rest of the time you just pretend that you're immersed in conversation, or just come by for a drink. Doesn't mean these gentlemen wouldn't want their bald heads smothered in tits. It's just that nobody says it out loud. My younger colleagues might call it hypocrisy, but I call it the good old-fashioned manners. Good manners and leave the rest unsaid. She agrees to unbutton her blouse, and we agree not to pay too much attention. The girls are on a quiet prowl, too. They're looking for a way out of their cramped rooms. Maybe make friends with some wealthy patron with a pacemaker and dentures. Everybody wants something. But we have to control ourselves, or we'll all turn into libertines and prostitutes. Hell, if there weren't any rules, I'd be belching and farting, jumping up on the table, arms held high, yelling, "Shake it, baby!" No idea how I got so barbaric.
What? The intro. This is. This is the police. I saw this game when it first came out, but I didn't really have the means to get it. Now I have it. Enough said. Let's get in. We're going to work. Let's go to work. Can't be any worse than my job right now. Just kidding. Love you, Walmart.
When I was a kid, my father sometimes told me at bedtime that if I closed my eyes and didn't open them for a long time, all the demons would blow away. Yesterday I turned 60, and I still take his advice. Not because I'm sentimental or want to keep the memory of my father alive. I just can't think of a better solution. To get away from all the demons that haunt Freeburg, I need to wear a blindfold 24/7. Plus, it's a good idea to act blind when talking to reporters. At least that's what my colleagues say. They're afraid of press conferences. But for me, it's more like a confessional. No matter what lies you tell, you're privately thinking the honest answers. It helps me remember who I am. The fact that I'll be reading all about it in the papers tomorrow is a small price to pay. Call it penance for the creature. This is the first time I'm afraid of those answers my mind has given me. Not because I'm mad I'm losing my job. Though it's true, I'm mad as hell. Not because I subconsciously blame everyone else. Though I damn sure do blame them. And don't even ask me what my next move is. I can't imagine. But even that doesn't scare me. The worst thing is, I know I'm going to have to do something. I'll be damned if I know how far I'll go. I may have a lot of vices, but predictability isn't one of them. I learned a long time ago how to drive away the swarming demons. But what do you do when they're trying to rip your soul from your skin? Shutting my eyes tight as I can. The best solution remains the same. Play blind. I just hope the reporters think I was blinded by the camera flash.
It's the day the mayor's office officially announced your resignation. Did this come to you as a surprise, or I'm just gonna say it's a surprise. I thought I'd be working as a policeman for another 5 to 10 years. I just want to serve the city. I was very surprised, of course. Do you already know the name of your successor? No, of course not, and I don't think the mayor's office knows who it is either. After the recent corruption scandal, your deputy, Francis Kendrick, said he was looking forward to resigning. If the mayor offered him position, maybe. Sounds possible if he thinks a new office would help him serve the city a little longer. Although Kendrick was acquitted, many still believe that the police are cooperating with the mafia. Do you know anything about this? No. I've never worked with the mafia, but I can't speak for every man and woman in the department. I can't follow all my employees around the clock. Do you think your personal relationship with the mayor? No. That's just not possible. Mayor Rogers is a true professional and he makes his decisions carefully. There's no place in our jobs for hard feelings. Thank you. Goodbye, press.
How's the bat today, Mr. Horn?
Same as usual.
How did the press conference go?
You can read about it in the newspapers tomorrow. Don't let anyone in.
Even Mr. Kendrick?
Especially Mr. Kendrick. As soon as I heard the door creak, I knew what face I'd see. When I tell Emma not to let anyone in, there's only one man it could be. Rude, arrogant, no warning. That's Mayor Rogers in a nutshell. White summer shoes, white socks, white shorts, white polo shirt, and the white smile of a hungry shark. Mayor Rogers enters every room like he owns the place. Even the floorboards under his feet sound like they're creaking in apology. He never shied away from the yard corruption scheme. It's like the devil walks behind him. In the movies, the villains controlling the city play golf with the judges. Rogers plays tennis with them instead. That's about the only difference.
Jack, I was hoping to catch you after the press conference. You ran away so quick.
There's no smoking at City Hall. No reason for me to hang around.
Really? This morning I signed a ban on smoking in all public buildings. Soon you won't be able to smoke here either.
Soon enough, I won't be here at all.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. The people of the city like you, Jack. The police chief of all people. Don't betray that, Jack. Don't get wrapped up in any schemes. Sit nice and quiet for the next 100 180 days, and you'll be remembered as a hero. That's the only thing that you still have left. Be a hero. And how am I supposed to scrape together a retirement fund? You had a million chances to secure a luxury pension, one that even I would have envied, although I've never set aside any money for myself. I'm not planning to retire anytime soon.
Hey, that's my shit, bitch.
180 days, quiet, Jack. That's all I need. I don't have any problems with you, and you won't have any problems with me. I have a new assistant, Troy Starr. If you have something to tell me, call him. Try not to bother him. He's a busy man.
I'll do my best.
Quit smoking at the office. One of my friends will be using it soon.
I'm sorry, babe. Only the mayor has this number. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, is Troy Starr?
Yes?
Go fuck yourself, Troy Starr. Cops don't use the police station cafeteria anymore. There's some kind of stigma against sitting shoulder to shoulder with your partners. Everybody just takes snacks from the machines or grabs a meal and hammers it down in the corner like a vulture on a corpse. The main thing? Don't look into anyone's eyes. Could be construed as an invitation to sit together. The only people here are ghosts. My deputy, Francis Kendrick, he recently became one of those ghosts, the subject of one of the most devastating corruption scandals in the history of Freeburg. No evidence to support the accusations, but everyone knows Kendrick's days are numbered. I need that file I asked for. It needs to be ready tonight. Francis didn't say anything, but I understood. Ghosts aren't supposed to talk. Besides, I got a feeling he was already finished.
Oh, poor guy. Okay. I would love some tips. Freeburg PD organizes upcoming work assignments into shifts for today and tomorrow. Every shift officers respond to crimes in progress, and detectives continue their investigations. You can freely move employees between shifts. All officers and detectives possess several important characteristics. Professionalism shows the overall efficiency level of your policemen. A figure around 150 is considered average. Any policeman who falls short of this mark is not entirely reliable, while those whose professionalism is considerably higher than average are a safe bet, even at a pinch. An individual's level of professionalism may rise and fall over the course of their career. Energy shows how tired your policemen are. The less energy your people have, the less reliable their work. And a policeman who is exhausted might fall asleep at the wheel or make a critical error on the job. Your employees lose 1 point of energy after each working day and restore 1 point after each day of rest. Your employees don't tell you everything. Some additional characteristics are hidden from view. For instance, some cops are lazy and will come up with any excuse they can think of to take the day off, while others like to drink too much. You can only guess about these things, but you should be able to draw your own conclusions based on the behavior of your employees. Okay, we're going to start today. I'm just going to do this shift, and then I'm going to end up going to bed. Responding to calls is the bread and butter of police work. You'll need to send your officers to the crime scene before the timer expires. A mark on the map shows where the call came from. The farther away the destination is from the police station, the longer it will take your officers to travel back and forth. So the longer your people will be tied up and unavailable for upcoming work. The easiest way to determine how difficult a task might be is to check how many units you are allowed to send on a call. The more units you send, the more serious the alleged threat. Particularly risky missions give you the opportunity of sending SWAT. It's these guys. But they must be accompanied by at least one officer. The number of slots is not the only thing to consider. Any available information from the location of the crime scene to the presence of weapons and so on. All of this can tell you how seriously each case should be taken. A mission might look simple at first glance until it turns into a brutal meat grinder. Or a serious call can come in which turns out to be a false alarm. Okay. So a married couple exited a convenience store and saw a van in the parking lot, back over a homeless man who had been digging through a trash can. The driver jumped out to help, but once he saw that he'd hit a bum, he got back in the van and quickly drove away. Aww, poor guy. You too, go. A theater manager reports that during a showing of Citizen Kane, a drunk man attempted to force his way into the theater carrying a snowboard decorated with the word Rosebud. When he was denied entry, he violently attacked the cashier and is currently fighting with the security guards. Oh, we need to take this very seriously. No, I think I'll send Yancey. You guys get in there. When everything goes well, the police capture the criminals and nobody dies. But the truth is, sometimes the criminal manages to escape. Just try to avoid any dead cops or civilians. Dead cops will hurt your roster, and dead citizens bother the mayor even more than the living ones. Of course they got away. Yeah! There you go, guys. Armed robbery. 3 teenagers armed with a shotgun robbed a videotape store and made off with their whole collection of adult movies. The criminals fled in a car, but the store manager wrote down the car's license plate. The owner is Janet Brown, who lives in the suburbs. I can't even use those guys yet. Go, guys. I will send Asano. She is all I have left. This won't end well, probably. Passerby saw some teenagers attack an elderly musician, then ran away with his guitar and money. When your cops aren't sure how to proceed, they might contact you and ask you how to handle the situation. Try to deal with whatever comes up, but don't waste your time on this stuff. You have plenty of other problems on your plate. Oh my. I'm not sure how to deal with this, because I mean, if you sneak in, they might shoot you. I don't think I want to sneak in because they might shoot my ass. Yeah, there we go, baby. They got away. It's okay. As long as you're alright. Okay then. If you think you'll need an extra a couple of hands tomorrow, you can order any cop to come in and work overtime. But if they're working flat out, they'll become more exhausted. I'm not gonna do that.
Used to be when I asked Kendrick to stay late at the office, he liked to grumble and crack wise. Nowadays, he doesn't have the strength for it. Slumped shoulders, blank stare, wrinkled skin. The past few weeks, I don't hardly recognize my old friend. In his younger years, he reminded me of a gallant loyal officer in an old Kipling story. Kendrick isn't just crumbling under the weight of the public pressure, but from the shame of it all. Internal Affairs raided the library he inherited from his grandfather, hoping they'd find buckets of cash stashed in the pages. Heard about the look on his face, the fearless policeman standing helpless in horror. I've known Francis for 30 years. The past 20 years he's played loose with the law. And I know that at a certain point every stolen dollar brings more misery than anything else. Probably sounds crazy, but I sympathize with the guy. What can I do? Your friends are your friends. These are the waters we swim in.
Called all of the people on that list today. Now they know you're in business, so you could get a call from anyone. Don't need to worry about it. I've cleared them.
And what kind of business are we talking here?
It's nothing too serious, just like you asked. Should be just a few small things. Payments will vary depending on the situation and who you're dealing with. How much are you looking to earn?
$500,000.
$500,000. Why not a whole million?
Because everybody wants to take $1 million. Figured I'd try something different.
$500,000 in 180 days? Well, you could earn it all above board if you netted all big fish and hit all your bonuses.
Never knew you for a fisherman.
Well, you never got into my business, and I I'm not trying to get into yours, but be careful about bringing in any other cops. Sooner or later, they'll put their finger on it. And one more thing, Jack. I remember what you said, but I should probably add one more name to that list. Christopher Sam.
No, that doesn't sound good.
Christopher G. Sam. Everyone knows the name, but few could tell you who he is. The old man stays away from the spotlight. Always wears old-fashioned jeans and knitted sweaters. Gives to charity. Rarely attends social events. An avid hunter, I hear. Even dabbles in poetry. You'd never guess he's the head of the oldest and most powerful gang in the city. Goes back as far as his great-grandfather. And Sand is strict about following the old rules. He rarely involves himself in commonplace murders and robberies. Hardly needs to intimidate anyone to get his point across. The people who work for him each have their sphere. They provide protection where needed, even work with the authorities when they want to make a deal. Meanwhile, Sam pulls the strings without getting his hands dirty. People sometimes mistake his quiet approach. A couple years ago, an arms dealer decided to expand its business without asking permission. His whole family paid the price. In 4 weeks, Sam killed 31 people. Old men, women, even a few teenagers. And Sam's people made sure every paper reported it.
Frank, I don't want to hear you say that name again.
Jack, please listen to me. I'm in with these guys.
We agreed, Frank. That's not the kind of business I'm into. I don't go there. Never have, never will.
My, oh my. When a police officer is too tired to be effective, he will ask for a day off. Sometimes officers will request days off even when they're at full strength. Some of the reasons you'll hear are far-fetched, while some are very serious. Don't overindulge your subordinates, but don't antagonize them either. Remember that everybody's got secrets, and you've got to make sure these guys have your back. Of course, but you have to come in tomorrow. In addition to their performance ratings, police officers also possess rank. Employees begin at the lowest rank and can be elevated in rank with 1, 2, or 3 stripes. Once a week, you can pass out stripes and improve the rank of any employee. If you think that no one is worthy of the honor some week, you can postpone the ceremony until later. Insignias won't go out until your people are ready. Employees of rank not only increase in professionalism, but also learn to command. Whenever a ranking officer is on the scene, his or her colleagues are more likely to perform better than usual. Sometimes when cops get rank, they start thinking more seriously about their service. This can mean less drinking and more time spent on the job. Some of them might even turn out to be dependable. Beautiful. Okay. Alright. We may be one guy down, but Freeburg isn't one of those cities where you listen to what they say, or anything at all. Or nothing at all. You can always select any song from your collection and play it at any time. Just like in real life. Well, the life of your grandfather. Nah, I'm not going to choose a song, sorry. I would rather not get copyrighted. Let's learn how to fire and hire cops. I don't want to. You have a certain number of paid job openings for which you can hire any available applicant. Job slots are separated between officers and detectives. If you have legal grounds for the termination, no one will ask any questions. You might not need to fire them anyway, legality be damned, but that could land you in additional proceedings, and your other staff will become more worried about keeping their jobs than they are about doing their jobs. Any way to free up a free slot? Oh, bullet. I'm just looking at these. Okay. I don't want to fire people. Okay. We received a frightened call from the local cathedral. This morning, the abbot discovered that someone entered the old cemetery during the night. The old yard's tombstones are painted with satanic symbols, and some have been broken into pieces. Ooh. It seems there are even marks from the shovel, but the abbot would say no more. Roy and Birch Jr. Go on. Okay. Businessman Harley Jones looking out his window say to oh, okay, yeah, you guys can go. It's not that serious. Reports us served a Okay, this can't be too serious. Well, obviously they're gonna escape. The waitress has mistaken retired officer Frank Nero for the fugitive in question. An anonymous call just came in. A clown carrying balloons at the skating rink is oh baby. is Shift A. Okay. I can't even do that? That makes me a little nervous. Yay! Got him. Just wait for him to get back. I think that's all the time I have for tonight. Or today, rather. I'll try to record more again soon. Thanks for coming, and I hope you guys like this game. I love this game. It's awesome. Have a good night, guys.